Hey readers, it's Miss Hans here. So we are continuing with our historical fiction lessons, and I want to remind you about what we worked on the last time that we were together. So the last time that we were together, we worked on this teaching point. Readers tackle complex text by slowing down to make sense of parts that seem important and making connections to other parts of the text. We read your writing and you guys did a great job working on this. I also want to remind you guys of our historical fiction chart that we've been growing together. So remember that we are readers of historical fiction. We read analytically, study in parts, we fit the pieces together, we figure out the main character's timeline and the historical timeline because we know that historical fiction teaches us a lot about a very specific time period. And we also realize that a character's perspective is shaped by the times and his or her role. Okay, today we're going to move on to lodging big ideas in small moments, small details, and objects. And we've done a lot of work around this in 4th grade, so you guys are going to be experts in this lesson. So let me read you our teaching point. Readers build big ideas out of small details by, first, paying attention to small moments, small objects, and recurring images. Then we're going to ask, why does this repeat? What big idea do these small details support? So I want to teach you some academic vocabulary. Symbols. Symbols are objects or ideas that mean something deeper. Recurring is something repeating. So what we're trying to achieve in this period is we want to pay attention to important symbols and details to help us understand our characters better. Because when we understand these symbols and these repeating details, we're able to build character theories and we're able to just understand the story a little bit deeper. So do you guys remember back in September when we read One Green Apple? And we noticed that the green apple was a symbol representing Farah, and just like she was different, the apple was different from the rest. But when it was mixed in to the apple cider, it added sweetness, just like her differences added to that class that she was in, added to her new setting. And in Tiger Rising, we found the symbol of the tiger, and we realized that the tiger was very similar to Sistine caged, and it represented a much deeper meaning. And we were able to understand our characters better by understanding these symbols. So when I was thinking about Bud, and I was thinking about big ideas and small details and paying attention to things that repeated, something that kept repeating in Bud Not Buddy was his rules and things, the rules that he made up, by the way. So let's go back to that. Let's read one of his rules that I found in chapter 3, I believe, and then I'm going to ask myself those 2 questions from our teaching point. Why does this repeat, and what big idea do these small details teach us? Okay, so watch me. This was another one of Bud Cowell's rules and things to have a funner life and make a better liar out of yourself. Rules and things number 118. You have to give the adults something that they think they can use to hurt you by taking it away. That way, they might not take something away that you really do want. Unless they are crazy or real stupid, they won't take everything, because if they did, they wouldn't have anything left to hold over your head to hurt you with later. So something that I noticed repeating here in this rule is again, the way that he's talking about adults. You don't trust them, used to hurt you. So now I want to ask myself, why does this repeat? I think this repeats because it's basically teaching us that Bud hasn't had an adult that he's really trusted. I mean, he did have his mom, but she died and she wasn't there for him. And now he's just been sort of like bouncing around from one foster home to another foster home. And we find out earlier that, he gets beaten in these homes. And even in this new home with the Amoses, he's being beaten. So now I'm thinking about the big idea that these details support. I think that a bigger idea here that these details are supporting is that Bud really is all alone, has no one but himself. And that's why he's had to lie. He's had to make up these rules and things to become a better liar, because that's the way that he's surviving through these different changes that are happening in his life. So now I'm thinking that Bud, this is leading me to think that now Bud is the kind of character that's just going to find any way to survive. So he's pretty brave in my opinion. So although I do believe that he is brave, we also get a sense that he's a little bit untrustworthy. I mean, not a little bit, a lot untrustworthy. He's been having, you know, all these lies, and he's been having to make up these lies to just, you know, help him stay alive. So although he is brave, he's also an untrustworthy narrator. So did you guys notice how I thought about big ideas out of small details by paying attention to small moments, small objects, and recurring images, and by asking, why does this repeat, and what big idea do these details support? So now for our active engagement, I wanted to show you different covers for But Not Buddy. Here's one, and it's just like a boy. We can infer that he is Buddy, and this other cover has his suitcase. So I want you guys to think, what is something that he's repeating? If you said the suitcase, I would definitely agree with you. So I want you to stop, pause the video to think, why does the suitcase repeat? And it's something very similar to Tiger Rising, right? He also had a suitcase. So I want you to think, why does this repeat? What big idea do these small details support? What big idea does the symbol of the suitcase support? Go ahead and pause the video and try it. Great work. So let me remind you of our teaching point for today. Readers build big ideas out of small details by paying attention to small moments, small objects, and recurring images. When we find something that repeats, or we know it's something that's a symbol, we ask, why does this repeat, and what big idea do these small details support? So remember, a symbol is an object or an idea that means something deeper, and recurring means repeating. So we wanted to pay attention to these symbols so that we could understand our characters better. So now, on your own, your task is to reread chapters 3 and 4 of But Not Buddy. Then you're going to stop and you're going to jot about another repeating small moment, small object, or recurring image that you find in But Not Buddy. You're doing it for But Not Buddy, not a different book, because your teachers and myself, we've been reading But Not Buddy, and we're able to give you very specific feedback because we know the story well. So you're gonna ask, why does this repeat? What big idea do these small details support? We'll give you the sentence starters just like we've been doing with the other stop and jots, so you can go ahead and use them. And remember to hit turn in so we can get your work and we can give you some feedback. Remember, something that we've been finding is you guys have been forgetting to cite evidence. Don't forget to do that. Cite evidence and explain your thinking. You can add interpretation as well. Stepping up the rigor, if you feel like you're all done, you're ready for a challenge, you can write a summary stop and jot about the chapters you have read. Good work, everybody, and we can't wait to read your work. Bye!